Will we see maybe some 5v5 stuff going on here? You know, if they think Glacial's going for the same thing, will they be prepared with the team for a defense?
I
So
think,
it looks like not. The way they're leaving base looks like they're just going to go for the classic 5 point,
yeah,
and same for Glacial actually.
what I was gonna say is I think neither comp really has the tools to force. You have the Alistar who is quite useless at level 1. Seraphine, no CC coming out of support. I think
Okay, good point.
the best situation here would be like a Galio taunt, but then you're starting taunt. So I think just based on draft, it'd be hard to pull off anything significant in the level 1. And it is going to be a spellbook on the Zoe. Nice call try, but a aftershock for Coach Coma here in the mid lane.
So that is something we're seeing pretty. That's the second time now we've seen Spellbook on Zoe. So maybe that is more of what is in meta for her. There's just, I mean, she's gonna have spells, summoner spells out the wazoo,
Mm-hmm.
straight up this game. I mean, we're gonna see.
Dude,
I feel like,
smites, ignites,
yeah, it's gonna be crazy.
um, all kinds of stuff. And all right, minions will begin battle here. Try as we see opposite starts from the jungles.
Then
This is
what?
pretty interesting. Kha'Zix's going to be pathing probably towards his bot side, and the Kindred the opposite towards her top side. This could mean a split map in the near future. This could mean a slow early game because the junglers won't be running into each other. But we'll have to see if either of them detour in that standard pathing.
So I'm excited to see. It's been relayed to me that Orn here has more games and a higher win percentage than they did on the set. So we might see Orn doing some work this game. We did see Set go 11-2 last game. So here a little more of that tanky, noodle pick
Mm-hmm.
here. But, Orn can still do a lot for a team.
Oh, for sure.
Setting up tons of plays, being unkillable. I like the comp here from McMaster.
I do too. I like the way they fit the Kha'Zix in and then drafted around it, I think, pretty well. You have Zoe and Alistar and Ornn to set up the Kha'Zix, and then you can fall back on Kaisa as the late game insurance plan, if you will. But it's all about the Kha'Zix, getting him an advantage, getting him an early kill would be huge. He can get to the point where you just can't go in certain places of the map or you're risking being one shot. Kha'Zix is out of control. You know, that's who I play
Yeah,
in the jungle most of
yeah,
the time
yeah.
when I am in there.
So something I want to point out here is Coma, man. I'm already seeing it. The Galileo stuff I don't like. I see you using Qs on the Zoe here, and what I think you should be doing is clearing that wave as fast as you can and getting wards in the jungle and being there for Kindred on these scuttles. You could definitely double scuttle this Kha'Zix with the Galileo Kindred against Zoe Kha'Zix, in my opinion.
Another thing to look at, try is the top crab marked for Kindred? It must be
Yes,
because
it
the
is.
bot one is not. Oh, it is.
Mm-hmm.
And that is a nice RNG roll for the Kindred, getting that
So,
50-50 for herself.
so something that is so.
Zoe can flash here.
Oh, and
And
there's a
she
flash in the
will. There's a
drowsy. It's
flash
gonna be a kill. Bop!
bubble. Bop is right. That is Coach Coma going down to the Zoe, who I believe found an ignite on a minion,
Oh,
and then
it's
it was
too
instantly
disgusting.
lethal for Galio.
Yes, and first blood going over to McMaster.
And we see the Garen here trading back with the Ornn. Try, I'm with you. My eyes will be on Ornn in the team fight situations, but I just think Garen Ignite in lane, there's no opportunity for skill expression for Wet Shamani is my first guess, just because of the all-in threat. We see Garen trading aggressively, knowing that his passive. Wait a second,
Oh
another bubble
no.
must have landed on Galio,
Oh
who is
no.
no flash. They can give this right over to Sekiro on the Kha'Zix, and that is not what you want to see for Glacier Esports.
So something I wanted to point out is, and I don't fully understand it, we may have talked about it before, but there is a way to manipulate and um, kind of uh, what is the word I'm looking for? Uh, oh no, we
I
see a
think
play coming
Zemsta is
out
as
here. I'll
good as
finish what I was
dead.
saying.
The question is, can he take Ornn down with him? And the answer is no. So nice play by McMaster's University, getting a kill onto their Ornn because of the pressure of their members showing up behind the Garen here. who now is facing a freeze unless Orn goes too crazy here. He is facing a freeze. That's a nice recall. Top
Yeah,
laners take note here. He trimmed the wave just enough so that it's still going to slowly beat that blue wave, and we'll keep an eye on how many minions are there for Orn when he gets back. There is no TP for Garen to come in and crash that and
yeah,
reset it
he's
for
in
him.
trouble.
So that is a very good
I
situation
I
for the
think
Orn
due to
here.
that, we're gonna see a large farm and uh, like that's just really bad for the top lane. That's
It
really
is.
bad for Garen to have to go down there to Ornn. Now Ornn TP'd back to lane, so no TP, but getting the wave is just perfectly set up for him, and he's in trouble. So Garen being really aggressive here. I don't know about that.
Okay, I think it's on Wetshimani now to just win this outright. I wonder if that Orn can all in. He
He
gets the 6,
does.
he drops the ulti, bops him
Oh,
in the air. He needs to
oh
fire
no,
breathe one more
he's not gonna be.
time.
Oh, the flash.
The
Okay.
flash, auto,
Oh
Q, misses because he
no.
gets Garen's flash. Good job by Zemsta holding flash the whole time until he got the Orn flash. And now here's the answer from Glacial Esports. It's going to be Drake #1 going over to Popang and the gang. And that's Red
Yeah, and
Team.
so that's a free Drake there. They did almost kill Kha'Zix in the jungle, so Kha'Zix forced to reset and just a free Drake
And I think he
for
flashed
Kindred
the
in the
Ka.
team. Yes, he did flash. So we have no sums on top lane and flash down on Sekiro, so they're gonna need to be careful making plays here into this game for the next 5 minutes. Don't want to give up too much here, but going to be 4 minutes and 30 seconds for this dragon, so they definitely have time. I think they kind of want to just play it chill, play it slow. They have a great late game team comp. They just don't want to do anything too drastic.
Hmm.
Kha'Zix level 5, so level 6 soon. Kind of just taking things slow, making sure they get their farm and try and level into the late game.
Yeah, we see Kha'Zix down. Wait a second. He will plant right onto the Kindred's face. He's melee range already. He will WQ. That's a nice chunk. She's forced to
Oh, here comes
flash away from
Galio.
the Alistar
Oh no.
combo.
Oh,
The Galio follow up, and this looks like it's good for Glacial. Coach Como will take down Sekiro, and that's it for now. Great presence by the
yeah, I'm
Galio here to show up on time. And another thing to mention, Try, before you go on, the Zoe was on a recall timer, which means you cannot plant over into Drake. And if you do, you might
he
want to
needed to
hop over
he
back
needed
over.
to have jump. So when he
Yeah,
saw the Kindred, he jumped on the Kindred rather than jumping out, and then that left him in a position where he couldn't do anything. Flash was down. It was just a bad scenario for him to be in.
yeah, and great job by Coma. Wait a second. There's a fight over Scuttle here. We'll go to Kendrick. Gives her 6. She's going to need that very soon. She'll drop the Lamb's Respite.
He's gonna go
Galio's on
down
the way to
anyway. Here
help.
comes the bop
But
from Zoe.
Sekiro, yeah, the Sekiro and Venerated duo here. Is the play over? Is Zemsta? No, he should be able to plant right over, right? All right, Zemsta
So
is
something I
gonna.
was talking about earlier that I forgot to finish what I was saying, and now it looks like I'll wait again because there's gonna be a brawl right here over this red buff.
Yeah, it's a 3-man assault for
Zemta needs
McMaster's
to be careful
University.
here. It's a
Galio's on
three.
the way.
Oh, and here comes the ult from Ezreal.
Zemsta did a lot. I think Galio can maybe clean this up here as a couple red members are
Yes, they're
getting
in
low,
trouble.
but there's the taunt on the Venerated who will go down. They want to give it over to the Kindred that's popping, getting himself on the board. Decent aggressive play by McMasters, but I think a better response by Glacial Esports, and they'll stop the recall
Yeah.
of the Orn here. And that's Glacial looking for
Oh
another frag
man,
here. I think it's doable. Who are they going to give it to? It's going to go over to Galio with a shutdown for Coach Coma.
Galio in a good position now to be scaling into this game. He had died twice early.
Popang is going to have to fight Sekiro if he wants this blue. No.
He didn't get it. Oh,
Oh,
wait.
he
Okay,
did.
he did. He did. He did.
That is like the faintest blue I've
Yeah,
ever
that was
like
yeah.
tried
I
looking
feel
at.
like it was bugged a little bit or something. Like look at the blue on Galio versus how it looked
Yeah.
on
Maybe because he was in
Kindred
river
there. Maybe.
and water is blue.
Um, okay, so so now I'll go back to what I was trying to say for the second time. I think you can manipulate where the first kindred mark will go, and then based on where it goes, you can kind of predict where it's going to show up next.
You can control the first one?
I don't you I don't know if it's 100% guaranteed, but yes, you can influence it. I think it goes opposite of where so like if he starts top and he goes and clears blue, around that 3 minute mark, it spawns like around when
Like
Scuttle does, and
opposite
it's
of.
either on one or the other. It's always on a Scuttle, the first one, I think.
Yeah, yeah, it's always on the
And so
scuttle.
it's on the opposite side of where you're clearing when it's like processing the spawn, I
Oh,
guess.
okay.
I think. Um, I've heard that somewhere. It could be wrong. It could be old and it's not doesn't work that way anymore. So looking at this blue buff, there is definitely some bug going on there because it's like it's definitely messed up.
Yep, and
And
it's
now it's
gone.
gone.
So didn't even get the full duration. Maybe.
Or it just it's
Thanks,
so weird.
spectator. It felt like not a full duration of blue,
Mhm.
but could be off.
Because Kha'Zix still has his. Oh wait, and Galio. I'm confused.
I'm also pretty confused, but
Forget the
remember,
buffs. Forget the buffs for now.
spectator has a mind of its own. Try you just can never be too surprised by what's going on. And so what do we got here? It's Drake up in about 25 seconds here. McMaster's University clearing out some vision as they should. Kindred appears to be top on Herald with Garen stuck in the top lane with that ignite. He can't get down here.
Yeah,
So,
TP is gonna be up for this Drake, I think, for Ornn here. So definitely gonna be the
oh, that could be
advantage
a
for
one shot for
McMaster.
Kha'Zix. Kha'Zix could jump on Seraph. They weren't aware Seraphine was roaming into that brush. But all signs are pointing to McMaster's University taking this Drake in exchange for Herald because Kindred is not even bothering. She's going to invade, splitting the map, taking Kha'Zix topside camps, which could lead to a possible dive topside, but it's an Ornn. But you do have Ignite and the execution power of the Garen ulti,
So they're just gonna
along with
let
the
this
Undying.
Mountain Drink go over to McMaster.
Ooh, nice root up by
Oh, the
Seraphine. She
missed ulti.
tries to follow it with the ulti, but it just wasn't quick enough.
Ornn just bopping Garen around right here. A little bit of damage. Look at that. Garen just did nothing to Ornn with that spin there.
Yeah, Ornn is slaying here in this lane. He will drop an ulti. He's going to look for the kill on Zemsta. And look at that double knockoff. He put
Oh,
him in the
man.
bouncy house right there.
Perfect timing. Let's take another look at that with this epic replay system here. Bam!
Watch the double jump here. Garen thought he was on a trampoline with his homies because he is stuck in the air until he dies. Beautiful timing. Watch the Ornn. He goes in E into R. Garen
Oh,
is
man.
floating and will go down.
What a play. So still
Here's the
the flat.
answer.
Oh, and here comes the TP for Ornn.
Yeah, it's going to be covered by Ornn here.
No ulti, but are they going to be able to set something
And
up?
Zoe, that's a
Oh,
double
double
TP.
TP.
Two members of McMaster's University showing up, and I'm not sure if that's what
Yeah,
you
I
want to
don't.
use both TPs on because
Yeah.
there's no neutral nearby.
By the time the TP was coming in, it seemed like the play was already over, and maybe they'd chase. And I was thinking, oh well, Orange just uses ulti. I don't know if they're gonna be able to catch. And what do you know? It's both TPs. I
Yeah.
think maybe they jumped the gun there. It looked like there was gonna be a dive coming in, and
Oh,
now
that
they don't have
opens up.
TP to respond to this. I didn't even realize the Herald was going down top, and that is bad news bears for McMaster. It's gonna be a tower for Glacial Esports.
Yeah, just
Oh wait,
said.
they might not get it.
Well, I'm not
Oh,
sure about Tower, but Kindred got over 480. She got 480 plus
from plates.
80. She got 560 gold from plates there. Watch her complete that Gale Force due to that. And yeah, it was simply an overstep by McMaster's University with the hype double TP play. As a solo laner, if my laner TPs, it always runs through your mind, should I make this double TP because it hides your TP coming in, which is really nice. But over indexing on the defense of the bot lane turret leads to some nice plate money in the pocket of Kindred, who we know they need scale into late.
Yeah, this is a close game here, a little bit closer than the first one.
Very
Um,
close.
I mean, I guess let me take that back because game one was pretty damn close for most of the early and mid game. It started to only take a turn as Glacial kind of was just leaving the objectives
Double
uncontested.
lands. Kha'Zix is going to walk up here. He'll get the taunt. He still has jump, but a couple turret shots means Zoe needs a heal. Meanwhile, Kindred ulti going down. There's the Galio
Oh
ulti. Here's the
no.
combo, but Venerated
Oh,
will
oh,
tap the
the
Zoe.
knockup.
And the Kaisa will also drop as well. That's a 1-for-1 for now. Glacial advancing on KVB will go down. Make that 2-for-1 for Glacial Esports. Taking down the enemy bot lane here. Looking to get some pressure in mid as a result. Glacial
Man, what a
Esports.
play. Things were looking real scary when that Kindred ulti went down. It's only guaranteed for the Galio ulti to come in right at the end for the knock up and shield. It was just really, really well executed.
And
And they're,
Ornn will
yeah.
set the Garen up for the Kha'Zix, who's at
Oh no, and
Wolves.
here comes the bouncy house, but he misses.
Seraphine Flash will now go down. The taunt is looking for the Ornn here. It's all about the Kha'Zix and whether or not he wants to jump. He won't. The Seraphine gets pretty close, but I think she's fine.
Wait, Ornn
Unless
is running it down.
Witchimoni wants to look for
Oh,
the kill. We'll breathe fire on her as she floats away and question marks him. How rude. Just kidding. It was emotes, which is perfectly fair game. Not even slightly rude.
Yeah, I'm trying to see more emotes out here, guys. Make them creative. I don't want to see no mastery level 7 and ooh, thumbs up. I'm trying to see some, fizz emotes and, tell a story with your emotes.
Oh, the Kindred Flash. She steals Gale Force. There's the Gale Force. Another Q coming in. There it is. One, two, three. And
Oh
the empowered
no.
auto popping, taking out Jaeger. Just caught him out in the lane.
Was that her ulti there? I didn't even see any shield. That must have been big burst damage there from Kindred because I did not see the shield from Kaisa ult at all.
It looks like she just very recently used
I
it.
think she used it right there. I thought it was the Gale Force because I saw no shield, but I think it was her ulti. And what actually happened was Kindred just had
That third
burst through it
auto.
immediately.
Yeah, the third auto on the E, especially if that thing crits, can do a ton of damage at this stage of the game. And that's popping, you know, kind of showing what Kindred can do. And not to mention, she can shred any member on the enemy team. Well, Alistar and Ornn, among others, are very difficult to take down. But
It
if
just
there's a
depends
champ,
as the Kindred scales in this game.
mhm,
If he gets too many stacks, she's going to be in a position where that Ornn may not be as difficult to take down as we would think. Looks like Popping tried to hop over that wall there
to
and
what?
didn't make it.
Maybe he's fake hopping? Players in this league wouldn't just fail a hop twice in a row. Right? You got to think, what's the next layer?
Like it's a bait.
No, no, I think it's better he
No,
didn't get
no, it
over.
was a
But
bait. It
it's a
was a bait.
Drake start here for Glacial Esports. It's going to be a 5v5. Garen rolling up. It starts with Ornn. Also look at Alistar up in that choke. Who's going to engage? It's going to be Sekiro goes in for the steal, but it goes to red team. That's Popang on the smite. He's going to dance around. Going to have to drop the ulti, but he doesn't. Here comes the Galio ult. Garen in the middle will silence and ignite. And now ulti the Kaisa. Garen doing his job.
Oh my,
Here
this
comes
is
the
a brawl.
Seraphine. It's an all-out brawl, but it looks good for Glacial Esports because Wasachomp has the flash over the wall. And that's Glacial Esports with Drake and Teamfight win for the cost of Kindred, who I don't know why, but did not use Lamb's
I
Respite.
I think he might have been in the bouncy house there for that. I
Locked
think
up.
yeah, the Alistar as well as the Ornn made it difficult for him to actually get that ulti off before dying. And then the Galio ult was a 1 second too late with the shield. And oh my gosh, the Zoe getting away with 1 HP. Holy.
Venerated with the shenanigans on the Zoe, just testing his limits here and getting away by the hair on his chin. But Glacial Esports with the gold lead for probably the first time in a long time. If you go back to game
Yeah.
one, they were behind, for a long time. So up 3K. This
Something
is
I'd like to note here is we do see that fight going over to Glacial as well as the Dragon. And what do you know? They were in the pit and in the river grabbing vision and getting control before the Dragon spawned, something that I thought they were really lacking on in game one.
preach, bruh.
And they do that now. And what do you know? It works out great for them. They take down McMaster there and get the Drake. So something I think, they were misplaying there in game one, and maybe they're focusing a little more on that now. I think it's very important to, even if you're keeping track of Dragon timers, and, I'm guilty of this in my own games, but, even if you're keeping track of it and it's up in 20 seconds, it's already too late. You need to be there beforehand. You need to be set up with vision and with like your line of defense before the enemy team gets there. If you're showing up 10 seconds before it spawns or as it spawns, you are too late and it's going to be really difficult to fight the team who is there with time to prep.
Well said, Try. Could not agree more. And they did look for the steal angle there with Kha'Zix jumping in and going for that. But if you want to call it a 50-50, just not going the way of Sekiro, falling to Popang. And then after that, yeah, the setup leads to
Oh,
teamfight win. But it's going to be a Galio look for a taunt onto the Ornn. But the TP from Zoe
oh, Zoe's
gets
going down.
interrupted from the
Oh,
silence. The Garen ulti will
he's
come
still
in
ult. He still has ult. Yeah.
and take out the Zoe now. It's a 4v4 on this front. Nice Seraphine stun. It's a front to back where Popang is getting a lot of damage down.
Oh,
And will also, who does the Herald go to? I missed that, but it's going to be
oh,
Glacial Esports cleaning up,
oh,
getting the
Glacial
Herald, and
did get
doing
Herald as well.
everything.
Wow, what a great play there. That is an interaction that I absolutely despise. If you uh Zonias or like in some way cancel a Garen ulti, it just is
It
back
just still
up.
does it.
If the cast comes out, that shit better go on cooldown, and I hate that it doesn't. Um, I think a well-timed Zonya's there
Yeah,
for Zoe, but unfortunately, just the way the Garen ultimate interaction works, it just, does not count as the cast, and it's still on cooldown, and he just kills her for free right afterwards. Really unfortunate, but still going over the way of Glacial Esports there. In a great, honestly, great TP cancel from Garen because he was going to be stuck in the bot lane alone.
right. It's
No way
huge.
to get to that Herald fight beforehand, and if Zoe had gotten there, it may have turned in favor of McMaster.
Definitely. It would have been a 5v4 if Zoe gets in there. The interrupt was actually so massive for the result of that fight. And I saw Kindred doing a lot of work. And Ezreal here is quietly on 2 items now. 3-0 and 5 is the scoreline. He's going to start hitting really hard. And it really comes down to the Ezreal player. This guy could carry the entire game. It's always possible on that champion. The amount of distance he can cover, the amount of range he has in his kit just means that if you don't have an answer for him, like a Zoe bubble, an Alistar combo, a Kha'Zix one tap, he could just run rampant in this game.
So we see another Drake is up in 30 seconds. It's going to be a Cloud Soul. So let's see if Glacial Esports here. I mean, they are in the red side quadrant for uh, McMaster. So they do have vision control. If they, this is what I'm talking about. They're setting up right now to have the control and maybe set up a bush cheese or something. But this is what they needed to do in game one to secure those
Here it
dragons
is.
and keep the game a little more even here. So we see Ornn top lane. He does have TP, but they just have absolute control over the bot quadrant for
But they're looking to
McMaster.
trade
So
Baron. Remember, try it's a theme in this league now. It's if you're over indexing on a Drake, like Venerated
Ooh,
now can tell them that Baron is relatively safe, but they actually suss the Baron out and they're sending members. So this actually looks really risky for
yeah.
McMaster's University. They might want to smite it and get out. We'll have to see what Sekiro does.
Oh
He's
my God.
sticking Baron. He's looking for the smite. It goes to blue team. That's Sekiro. They're gonna look to get over the wall or die. As Kha'Zix gets
Oh
over the wall,
no.
Ornn
And here's
flashes,
Garen.
but he has Garen spinning like a Beyblade right on top of him, drops the
Oh,
ulti
one
ignite,
HP.
walks away from the flames,
Sekiro gonna go down as well. There's no way he's getting away here. Adios, amigos. You are gone.
and that's everybody other than Jaeger dropping for the side of McMaster's University, but they do successfully take the Baron away. This is
Yes.
another Baron
And
for
they
Drake's trade. I
and they
love
do have
seeing
one
this.
Baron buff left on Jaeger here, so maybe worthwhile, but giving up all those kills, I don't think we had any shutdowns on the side of McMaster, but only more gold and more free time to take control of vision and waves for Glacial Esports here. So taking the dragon right now for free.
Yeah, and I do like that for McMasters as a macro play. Yes, you gave over some flashes and some kills, but for Glacial, you don't want Baron off the map because now that's 5 minutes where you can't use your 5k Goldie to get Baron, and Baron is just how
As
you
like
win
the
games.
ender. Yeah.
Other than Cloud Soul, obviously, which they will look to play for. But we see
Hey,
there's
but
no
Cloud Soul is
neutral.
Cloud Soul, am I right?
Yep, there is no neutral for 4 minutes 40 seconds, so that's a lot of dead time where McMasters can look to even out the gold
Yeah.
and then
So
slow the pace of the game
I
down.
think we're going to be in a little bit of a lull state here, but I think if Glacial Esports, yeah, so I was thinking they need to play aggressive here, take that lead to look for picks down during this downtime
Hmm.
to try and limit them from getting the most out of this time between objectives, like you're talking about.
Yeah, and it could be a low state. We'll have to see the lane assignments here. We have Garen bringing up the bot lane. That's for Glacial here.
Oh no, and a big damage on Sekiro. He has to jump away. So taking control of the vision here in their bot quadrant again. Much better
Vision control.
vision control from Glacial Esports this game compared to the last one.
I have to agree, and I'm happy you're making that point too. It really goes, overlooked very often is the vision control because it's hard to compare one game to another in terms
Yeah.
of vision control, but I definitely see an increase here. But that's popping on Kindred going right in, drops the Lamb's Respite, looking for damage. He will not die now, but will he right after the Lamb's Respite? We see an
Oh,
Ornn
that big
ulti,
knockup.
Pretty good choke here. This could be good for McMaster's University. That's a big shutdown for the Kaisa. It looks like a 1-for-1 so far. You will take that from McMaster's University, especially on Kaisa.
Yeah, definitely. So getting that shutdown goal as well as only losing one member. So definitely a worthwhile fight there for McMaster and only one step closer to being in this game still. They are only down 6K gold. I think the biggest thing here will be to not give up that Ocean Soul for free, but maybe what we see here is another soul for Baron trade. And if they can
Mhm.
keep the Baron on all five members when giving up that Drake, that would be great.
Yeah, I wonder if the trade is on the table for McMaster University. I think go for it. I like when teams do that.
I
Getting
do
Baron
too. I
is
think
just
it's
massive.
a very, you know, trying to contest that dragon is not always the right play. And as we get further and further into the league Saturday series, I'm starting to, think that more and more. And
Hmm.
I'll take that into my own games to say that this soul is not the end all be all. You need to try and use the Baron as leverage in these kind of scenarios. We've
Right.
seen it multiple times so far in this season. We've seen it absolutely turn games for the teams who have taken sets away from other teams who have had the lead for the entire game. They make a some kind of Baron trade or Dragon trade and then make a big play, which just
Yeah.
ends the game off of uh, one fight.
Right, right. And games can end at the drop of a dime. And I think when McMaster's University got that shutdown on Kaisa, killing the Kindred, I think that was a result of Glacial with no neutral to play to trying to play make without like clear playmaking tools. So started with Kindred kind of just aggressively right at the base wall, dropping ulti, Galio ulti. Those aren't exactly engaged tools. It actually created a situation where McMasters can deal with the Kindred ult because it goes down so early, and then pick up the kill with the Kaisa. So the point I'm making is Glacial's comp, although it can work, has a lot of combos, lots of synergy, and is looking well, it doesn't have the snap playmaking that Glacial wanted in between the neutral objectives. And it's just a full-on base defense here by McMaster's University. I think it's going to be up to Glacial to prioritize one of the objectives, and then McMaster will probably, if it's Baron, contest, and if it's Drake, they'll look for a trade.
So, I mean, look at this HP bar on Galio here. This man is tankier than Ornn. Well, not pretty damn close on those
Yeah,
HP bars.
he is surprisingly tanky as a champion. I hear a lot of players complain about making plays on Galio that they thought would work, but then don't just because he takes so little damage. And this is a Gale Force Stormrazor Garen one tapping Jaeger. That is not how you want to fight to start, but Glacial fighting another front in the mid lane here. This looks a bit better for the Kindred Galio combo. Although Kindred is actually missing, but
Oh, that
Ezreal
Ezreal alt damage.
firing away, and that's going to be base cracked. They could not afford to lose Kaisa at this moment in the
30
game.
seconds on Kaisa still.
This is going to be two inhibitors, Soul and Baron for Glacial because of
Oh, man.
Garen one tapping Kaisa with Gale Force
Are we
Stormrazor
going to
try.
I could be mistaken, but is this going to be our potentially first game 3 of season 2? Have we seen two O's in almost every game so far?
To my recent memory, it feels like yes, that
Yeah,
this will be the
yeah.
first one.
Ooh, boy.
And us at One Night to Play, we want every series to go the distance. We want game threes, we want game fives, we want game 11s if it ever gets to it, because that just means the players are just putting it all out on the Rift, not shying away when being down 0-1 is Glacial. They're fighting back, taking
Oh, and the
control of
bubble
game
hits. Is
two.
this going to be a pick on Garen here? Oh, he's going to get the plant.
Yeah, fighting with fire is Zemsta there on the Garen. A bubble into some more CC could have meant a lot of damage here.
Ezreal throwing Qs at Baron here. I'm not sure what that was.
In its full control. Now all Glacial has to do, there's actually no rush. They could take their good old time here, wait for that bot wave to crash into the Ornn in the mid wave, but they will just go ahead
Oh
and
yeah,
start.
they're starting the Baron off the
Equally
reset.
reasonable. I mean, you have the pressure starting is always good. You could always peel off if you need to,
Oh, and
but
it's
it's going to be
that
a rush.
free. This game is looking really, really good now for Glacial Esports. They have Cloud Soul as well as Baron here, and they are up almost 10K gold. This is going to be a really hard defense for McMaster.
Oh, Kindred. Playing with fire herself is just going to engage in a 1v2 because she has the backup of a Galio and does a surprising amount of damage right into
Oh,
Zemsa's hands. Goes down, KVB on the Alistar,
this
and
is
it
going to
is.
snowball into the end game here. I don't know if McMaster is going to be able to hold off Glacial Esports. Look at them just running down into
Oh,
the towers here. I think they need to be careful. Things are starting to look good for McMaster.
but good burst coming back from McMaster University. A double kill onto the Kaisa, who is still alive. They might just turn to the third inhib now, but is inhib greeting? I think if you're McMasters, you can test this inhib and go for the entire
They need to
game
be
here.
careful here. Look at that Ezreal damage. Half HP from 1E onto the Zoe.
Venerated with a bit of chip damage, but they have to watch the third inhibitor fall. They're dealing with minions. They don't have the members. That's nice gold on Akaisa. Great frags here, but just the pressure of the base dying.
Oh no, they're walked up for that bubble, and
Ooh.
it was a sleepy bubble trouble for McMaster. Unfortunately, they got too cocky with that bubble landing. They thought they could walk up for the kill, but as soon as it wore off, they just go down. And because of that, it's going to cost them the game.
That is game 2 going over to Glacial Esports with a clapback win of their own, sending the series to game 3, the first of season 2 for League Saturday
Yeah.
series.
That's what I'm talking about. I love a game 3. Everything is on the line now for this set. They are going to have to bring out some spicy gameplay for game number 3. It's, I think, if I'm not mistaken, for these two teams, we need to take a look at our standings here. Will this be